today I want to spend a little bit of time doing my plan with me and my setup in my bullet journal for August 2019. So I'm using the Leuchtturm 1917, the silver anniversary edition, and I just want to get started on what we're going to do for August. I penciled in a little bit already, and I need this guy out of here. So as I said, I've already penciled in a little bit already. I'm going to be using my Micron 0.02 or 02. It's a thickness that I like. It's nice and thin. This one doesn't even write. Okay, we're off to a good start. There we go. And I like to keep my journals relatively minimal. I'm going to be using my Tombow brush pen in 062 for just a little bit of decoration. Where was May? I wanted to show you the one I used before that it's quite simple and I quite like the setup. I want it similar to this. I quite like that setup. So oops. Actually, why don't we use the ruler on this one so it's not quite there we go, and I'll come back in a little bit and I'll erase this and I'll add in some color into there. On my second page for each of my monthly spreads, I used just this stupid little kind of thank you thing that came from our cable company, and I like to do that just as a ruler for a couple little boxes that I have on this first page. And what I tend to do with this is I have a list of goals that I have for, see, I don't fret about boo-boos like that. I try to keep it relatively straight, but I usually do mess up somewhere along the line when I'm setting up each month. So I think what I'll do with a lot of this is I'm going to just skip through, either fast forward through or just cut out some of the parts where I'm just sitting here just quietly drawing lines. I think that'll probably just get about as exciting as watching paint dry for you guys. So See, I've not done many of these plan with me videos, so this is kind of new for me. So I'll list any goals I have for the month. I'll list out the main tasks that I want to get accomplished for the month, and then any notes I might want to make during the month. Then I'll do a little shadowing around here, a little drop shadow. I say I keep my journal fairly minimal, but I do like to have a little bit of color detail. I usually don't bother with coming up with a theme for each month. What I do tend to do is make a note here of what I'll pick one color. Some months I'll only use just the Tombows. Some months I'll have other coordinated colored markers as well that I use, but for the most part I like to keep it pretty simple and straightforward. And I will mark down the color of the marker in case I put it aside, put it away. I want to make sure I can find it again and oh, that's going to get all jiggly. I think I'll come back and do all the erasing after. So this is my first page. I will again, like I say, I'll come back and I'll erase some of the markings I have here. The next page I like to do is my calendar page. And I don't like having my calendar, my month at a glance, all the way down one line here. I find that my brain just doesn't see what's happening all month when I do it that way. So I like to lay it out as a full calendar. I have gone in ahead and marked out my spots. I've just done little dots where I want to make my lines. I do the boxes 6 squares across, 6 squares down, and I like to leave a line in between each of them. So I'll have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on this side, Thursday, Friday, Saturday on this side. So I just go through and draw out all my lines. This I do freehand. It's never perfect. The lines are usually have some wonkiness to them. I'm okay with that. I did use the ruler on the other page, but in general I often don't worry about keeping the lines extra straight. It's just it doesn't really bother me one way or the other way if the lines are straight or if they're a little bit crooked. I'm okay with that. Good grief, this will get getting really wonky. There we go, then I'll go back in and add in the dates. And hope I don't mess it up somewhere along the line. So there we go. And again, I'll come back and erase this after, and I'll do a quick flip through the pages. I also like to do a little bit of drop shadow on the calendar pages. Okay. The next page I like to include in my bullet journal each month is a gratitude page. And again, I do this the same way. I set it up exactly the same as this calendar. And what I like to do is come back each day when I'm consistently bullet journaling. I'll come back each day and add in a little quick something, a couple notes about what I'm grateful for each day. So again, I'll just fast forward through this. I've gone through and I've marked, just gone through with my Micron and just put the dots down for the grid of where my lines are going to go. So I'll get these drawn in and I'll come back and talk to you in just a minute about what else I'm doing with this page. There we go, my gratitude log for August. I might do some little decorations, maybe some washi tape or something down the side here, but we'll see when I get there. Now the next two pages, I like to keep track of an activity log, so keep track of my steps, my minutes of activity, things like that, based on what my Fitbit tells me. And then I also like to keep a sleep log. And I like to try to get more than 8 hours of sleep a night. It doesn't happen that often. Next best is between 7 and 8 hours of sleep. But I do like to keep track of this month by month. All my sleep information is also on my Fitbit. So these are things that I do tend to try to log every day. And then the day of the week it is, so Thursday, Friday, and so on. I also like just to make a rough little note across here at the end of each week on Sunday. For me, it just tends to break up the page a little bit more. So steps, number of minutes active, according to the Fitbit, how many calories I've burned, the number of miles, and how many floors or flights of stairs I've come up. And then for each of these I have benchmarks of what goals I'd like to achieve. So and these I color code these, and I'll get this down and I'll show you the color codes in just a moment. I'm going to squish those way too much. Yeah, let me fix that. This is my equivalent of whiteout. Kind of musk that up a little bit. So for each of these, I like to color code them, and I use my little Crayola twistables. If I have hit my goal, so more than 10,000 steps, more than 30 minutes of sustained activity, more than 3,000 calories, more than 5 miles of walking, and more than 10 flights of stairs. So each day I come in and I fill in each of these entries, and then I color that in. So let me see if I have an example of a page where sort of did that one. Yeah, so here's an example where I've filled that in. So if it's colored in green, that means I've met my goal. If it's in yellow, I should be using some level of caution. I haven't quite got there. So that's somewhere midway towards my goal. And if I've come nowhere close to my goal, it's red, and that's a signal to me that I need to improve, stop this bad behavior or bad level of activity. So at the end of the month, I can look at my tracker and see that, okay, for which month was this? February. I only had a handful of days. The first was really good. I hit green all the way across. Otherwise, there's only a few days throughout the entire month that I hit my goals. The yellow is somewhere in the middle, and the red are days that I didn't come close. And similarly with my sleep log. I'll explain that in just a bit, but I'd like to do the same thing with my sleep log, except I add 4 categories. Where over 8 hours sleep, between 7 and 8 hours sleep, between 6 and 7 hours, and under 6 hours sleep. So the green are good. I'm sure this is probably shaking the living daylights out of the camera. And for my sleep, I have one extra category of orange. And then I do my sleep log in a similar fashion. So 8+ hours, 7 to just shy of 8 hours, 6 to just shy of 7 hours, and less than 6. Again, add in the days. Oops, my line's getting crooked there. Maybe I should start using a ruler on these someday. So the things I track for my sleep log is the time I went to bed, the time I got out of bed, according to my Fitbit, the number of hours of sleep I got. And what this does is it factors in the amount of times you toss and turn and you're awake during the night. So it doesn't necessarily count if I go to bed at 10 at night and get up at 6 in the morning. That doesn't mean I get 8 hours of sleep. There's going to be times when I wake up multiple times during the night. So the hours awake, the hours I have in REM sleep, the hours of light sleep, and the hours of deep sleep. I better be careful, I did those in reverse. Anyway, I'm gonna have to be careful when I'm marking this down. So I've changed up my colors. Oh well. This page, I don't know what I'm going to do with this page yet. I might add in an additional habit tracker. I probably won't. I'll probably have some kind of quote or I don't know, something. And then on this page, I'm going to start my weekly tracker or my weekly spread. And I tend to prefer to do my bullet journaling in a way that I set up all the days of the week across 2 pages. I'll have usually have one little space for extra notes, goals for the week, something like that. And then I have roughly a quarter of each page for each day to list all the different tasks and things that I have on my list to get done, meetings I might have, appointments I might have, and things that I have to do. So those things get added in, and then that way I prefer to have it all set up for the whole week at a time, because in that way I can see exactly what I have coming, what's coming up for that week. I don't set up multiple weeks in advance, I just set up the current week. So for me, that's what works out quite well. I like the idea of doing the rapid logging where I have Monday, this is what I'm going to do, and then however much space it takes, and I start Tuesday next. But I like to see if what I'm mapping out to do on Monday, I'm going to more heavily load earlier in the week if I know I have a lot of engagements and a lot of things going on later in the week. And I like to be able to see that all in one shot, in one spot. So I'm going to try something a little bit different for my layout this time. We'll see how I like it. This is when I saw somebody's video somewhere on YouTube. Where do I to here? So apparently I can't talk and draw lines at the same time. Betsy. So I'll divide the page. I'm doing this a little bit more fancier than I normally do my weekly pages. I'm just going to try something a little bit different this month. I do like to kind of change it up a little bit here and there just to see if there's something that might work even better for me than what I've been doing. Yeah, I didn't go far enough on that one. Oh well. No, that line was crooked. Oh well. Like I said, try not to get too fussed about how things are set up and laid out in here. Oh, I'm making smudgies too. Oh, goody. Okay, so there we have, and I also like to keep the parts of each month within its own month. So for the months where the first doesn't start on a Monday, I prefer to keep August with August, and I kept July with July. I know some people like to switch it up, keep them together as a full week. I'd rather do it this way. The other thing that I'm probably a little bit odd, my calendar layout, I like to see it starting with Sunday, ending with Saturday. But when I start my weekly, I would have done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll set it up so that the weekly page starts with a Monday. My calendar starts this way on Sunday. My weeklies, I start on Monday. That's just what works for me. So, I want to come back and do my shadowing here. Forgot to do that the first time through. There we go. Now the one other thing I want to do is I'll go back to my future log and look to see what I have coming up in August. So I have two things that I had marked down for August. I'll transfer those to my page now. So on the 1st, I have an appointment at it's at 2 p.m. I changed that. I have an appointment for a blood donation, and on the 22nd, I don't remember the time, I'll leave space for that, is the thing at work that I have to get done. And I know I have other things. I've got something on, I've got a conference thing on the 5th. I have something else either on the 9th or the 15th. I have to, what I'm going to do is go through my emails and double check, because I know I have more things coming up in August than what's here. So on the 1st, I have an appointment an appointment for a blood donation, and at 4 p.m. we have a barbecue picnic to go to. Tomorrow morning I will jot down, I know there's a few other things I want to get done in the morning. I'll get that all done up then. So I'm going to get all my smudges and all my pencil marks erased, and then I'll come back and I'll just do a quick little flip through for you to see, so you can see what's what. I just don't want to videotape when I'm erasing, because it'll make you see sick, because my camera will start wiggling around. So my August 2019 spread for my bullet journal. So again, the key ones I used are my Micron 02 and my Tombow 062 are the two main colors I'm using. My monthly spread, which I need to add a few more things in here. I might actually add, yeah, let's put a little bit of washi tape in here. Use this washi tape. I don't remember where I bought it. How about we just do a little line? Across here. Okay, so it's a little strip of washi for whatever. So now am I still in frame? Yep, close enough. So my monthly spread, my gratitude spread. So I'll come in each month or each day and add to that. My activity log and my sleep log, and wow, those are some crooked lines. Oh my goodness. Anyway, and I had a ruler. I'll use the ruler more in the future, I think. And then I'll probably come back and do something with this page, and then I begin here my weekly logs. So I'll start adding a few more things that I need to get done each of these days. I have a phone meeting here, or an online meeting here I have to mark down. I think these days are longer than these. I might have to rework the spacing on that. But anyway, these are I'm set up for August now. So let's see. I'm hoping to keep up with this on a weekly basis so that I can try to keep myself a little bit more accountable to myself, so that I do a better job of keeping up with this and doing this on a regular basis, and using my bullet journal for what it's intended for, to help me with my productivity. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Take care, and I'll see you guys. Maybe I'm going to try to post my setup for next week. I'll try to get that posted sometime on Sunday. Alrighty, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.